Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm not sure how credible the reports are that I'm reading in regards to the Heat and the Portland Trailblazers, but I did read something that I thought was noteworthy, so I figured I'd bring it to you guys as an excuse to make content. So, welcome to the channel, BDO44. Thank you all for showing up. So, this is what it is. I hear that the Heat are willing to try to offer up about 4 picks. They're going to try to put together some type of possibility since they don't have their own natural picks. They're going to have to try to figure something out. So what I understand is that they're able to kind of scrounge together maybe about 4 first rounders, a couple of swaps, obviously some seconds will come with that, and then they can throw in some players. And the player that the Portland Trailblazers are said to have preferred is Jaime Jaquez over Nikola Jovic. Now, me personally, if I'm Portland, I'm taking them both. We ain't gonna do that. It's like, nah, Miami, you're giving me both of those young players, and you're giving me those 4 picks, and that'll get the deal done. But from what I understand, that's not a possibility. So Portland is I guess making a choice in regards to the 2 players, and it's Jaime. If I had a choice, I'd go with Jaime too. Jovic is a player I like a whole lot, though, and you guys know that. But he's coming off a broken leg, and that is the story there. That's the defining factor for me. It's like, look, if Jokic doesn't get off to a good start, I could have had Jaime Jaquez. Jaime Jaquez is a healthier player. It's just a better bet. Period. Jaime Jaquez is a fantastic guy. I actually think he's going to be better than a lot of people think. I got him as a poor man's Paul Pierce, to be honest with you. Big, forward, fluid scoring, mid-range ability, can get to the rim. 3-point shot is better than people think. Now, he ain't a 3-point shooter like Paul Pierce or nothing like that, but I'm looking at the size, style of play, puts the ball on the floor. Poor man's, but that's kind of how I have him. With Jovic, I think Jovic is a 7-foot point guard. Obviously, you haven't seen him do that, but that's kind of what I've been understanding him to be. He has point guard skills and he's huge. So you definitely want to have him in a nutshell. Both of those guys had fantastic summer leagues, so I'm happy to bring either one of them in, regardless of what my team is in the situation. Just in a nutshell, those are desirable pieces that Miami has. That's why I'm telling you guys, if I'm Portland, I'm taking both of them. You're taking Dame Lillard. Damian Lillard is an MVP candidate. Damian Lillard is one of the most clutch players ever played basketball. And even though his contract ain't that great and he's in his 30s, I'm going to, if I'm the Portland Trailblazers, look at that situation and say that is something that we're just going to hold on to in regards to not allowing it to keep us from making the best deal for us. His age is something that you're going to have to prove that he can't still be the MVP, and that's not possible given the fact that last time we saw him, he looked great. He looked like an MVP candidate. Now, granted, he's never won an MVP, but he's at that level, so that's what I'm saying to you. Point is, Damian Lillard is going to be a top 20 player in the league next year, and I would say if I'm on the negotiation table as a Portland Trailblazer representative, you're going to have to prove me otherwise if you want to take this contract from me for anything less than what it is I'm talking about. So that's where I'm at, and that's why this is why it has not happened. This is probably like why Dame is not in a Heat jersey, because at the end of the day, if I'm Portland, I could be willing to send Dame to Miami, and I could say, all right, I don't want to be ornery with Dame. Let's just go forward and get this done. I'm still going to have to look at what they're giving me and actually accept it. And when it comes down to that, I could have it in my heart I want to do something right now and look at that damn trade return and say, absolutely not. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it could really come down to that. I could look at Dame Lillard and be like, man, let's get this done. I don't want to deal with this no more. All of this is bad. And then they offer me some garbage. And I'm supposed to what, take that? And it just becomes an entirely different conversation than whether or not we're trying to hold Dame hostage or whether or not we want to just send Dame to Miami. Nah, we just want a return that doesn't look like absolute trash. And so if I'm Portland, I'm not wavering from that at all. And right now, what Miami has to offer is trash for the standards of Dame Lillard's contract, based on what it is you expect Dame to do for the Miami Heat, both on the court and for revenue. I'm sorry, you're not giving me nothing that's going to make my life better. If you're the Miami Heat, those picks, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, they're not going to be very good. Tyler Hero, Tyler Hero's a nice star. And I'm giving you Dame Lillard. Give me something I want. So, yeah, that's I don't assume enough people would care about my opinion or be influenced by what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's like, I hope people are listening to me, because I don't think you can get this Dame trade wrong if you're either one of these two teams, to be honest with you. And if I'm either one of these two teams, because of it, I'm almost inclined to not do it with them. If I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I definitely don't want to do a deal with the Miami Heat. If I'm the Miami Heat, I probably am having second thoughts about whether or not the return is going to be worth the package that we're sending out. You're already going to have to go through 3 or 4 teams to get that package done. You're going to have to give up a bunch of picks that probably going to go further into your future than you probably would like to. You're going to be giving up a young player like Jaime Jaquez, who I would argue you shouldn't even have on your team, because you should have drafted Cam Whitmore. So, like, you pass on Cam Whitmore, now you're about to throw Jaime Jaquez into this trade. It's like, nah. All of this is the wrong way to go. Jaime Jaquez is somebody you believed in enough to leave the 5th best player on the board, in the draft on the board. So at this point, in my mind, there shouldn't be no trading him at all. Not if you're the Miami Heat. Not at all. Not as a throw-in. This is almost the same way I felt about the Lakers throwing in the 4th overall pick for Anthony Davis with all that other stuff that we were sending. We were sending a million swaps. We were sending Brandon Ingram, future All-Star, Lonzo Ball, somebody who we thought was going to be big, Josh Hart, somebody who's really, at the very least, a nice player who has some fantasy relevance. Sent that out, sent the picks, as I said. And we had to throw the 4th overall pick in that draft, in that trade. Now, my question to the Pelicans at the time was, the Lakers were not supposed to have the 4th overall pick that year. That pick was supposed to be 15, 16. We got really, really lucky, basically winning the lottery for what we were trying to do. We were nowhere near as good enough to win the 4th overall pick, and got it. If we wouldn't have got that 4th overall pick, and it would have been 15, would that have held up the trade? Would you have said, nah, because the trades and the package isn't good enough? But since we got the 4th pick, we could throw it in. I would have held that trade off and kept that pick and drafted Darius Garland, I tell you. And Anthony Davis probably would have never been a Laker, because I would have kept Darius Garland. DeAndre Hunter was a pick that the Atlanta Hawks ended up wanting. We ended up sending that pick to the Hawks for the New Orleans Pelicans so they could do something else, whatever they did in that trade. But the point was, that was their pick that we traded to them. And I'm not certain if we didn't just give them the 4th overall pick when we didn't necessarily have to. And so I say to you, if I'm the Miami Heat, I see that as a similar situation. I'm not going to be giving up Jaime Jaquez in this situation, or giving up stuff that I have no business giving up just so that I can bring back Dame Lillard's contract, which, if I didn't have Jaime Jaquez, we'd probably still get the deal done. If Jaime Jaquez was a lesser player who wasn't as valuable, you'd still find a way at the end of this rainbow to get it done. So I'm not throwing those cherries on top, is what I'm telling you. If I'm the Miami Heat, I'm not throwing no cherries on top, just the same. So it's like, if I'm either of these teams, I'm not happy with this process. And I'm probably not doing it. If I'm Pat Riley, I'm probably having second thoughts. And if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm talking to everybody but Miami. Period. And since Dame said that he's willing to go somewhere else, it's looking weird for the situation as far as him going to Miami. If I'm looking at stuff, if this is the best that Miami can come up with, they don't want to throw in both of those kids, Jovic, and Jaquez, then what the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Who do you think you're trading for is what I would ask the Miami Heat. Who do you think you're trading for? You know who this is? Like, that would be the type of stance I would take as a Portland Trail Blazer. Now, granted, I hear the other side of the argument, of course, because I make it all the time. Dame's contract, 30-something years of age. If I'm Miami, I'm not trading the farm. I'm going to probably stand against trying to trade both of those young players if I'm Miami. You see what I'm saying? It's like, don't get it twisted. The stance is strong if I'm either team in not doing this, is what I'm saying to y'all. I'm not throwing it. If I'm Pat Riley, hell no, I ain't throwing in Jaime Jaquez or. You feel me? I'm not throwing in either one of them. So you're going to have a real hold up in regards to this negotiation process. If either one of these sides think anything like me, ain't happening. It's not happening. It's basically what I'm telling you. I ain't doing it. So that's where I'm at, man. The 4 picks is fine, depending on the pick swaps. We could work with that. If I'm Portland, this is the Portland side of things, I can do that. I'm gonna want both of those kids. I ain't gonna want no salary dumps. I don't want no Kyle Lowry. I don't want no. I don't even want Tyler Hero. Honestly, I don't want Tyler Hero. I'm good. What you can do for me is trade those guys to a different spot and turn them into trade equity, which it looks like they're trying to do. And that's it, man. That's it. If I can get Jaime Hawkins, great. If I'm the Portland Trailblazers, if you could turn Tyler Hero into picks and all that, I'll do the deal. But I'm telling y'all, man, it becomes a situation where I start looking at the particulars of the situation, and I'm just telling Dame Lillard, man, I don't know if I can get you to Miami this year. Maybe if we let another year pass off that contract, maybe we can make it a little more desirable in trade. But right now, it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy, bro. And that's really it. Because at the end of the day, if I'm the Portland Trailblazers, there's one factor in all of this. What the hell am I going to do with Anthony Simons if I were to get Tyler Hero back in trade? I ain't going to have Tyler Hero and Anthony Simons running around trying to share baskets and being turnstiles on the other end defensively. It's not happening. I'm not doing that. You know, that's the bottom line. So, you got Scoot Henderson in that mix. What you want, Tyler to play some 3? It's just not. It's not going to work. So, I personally think, and this is going to sound like something I may have said once before, but Tyler Hero, I think he should be in Washington. I think he should be right next to Jordan Poole as doppelganger. We put them both together and let them fly around and do exactly what they do: dart around, run off of screens, shoot jumpers all day long. They're going to average 25 apiece, and they're going to be very difficult to guard. That's what I would do. Washington ain't doing nothing else. Go get Tyler Hero as the third team in the situation. Shoot them some draft equity. You got all of it in the world. And bring those two together. Yeah, that would be one thing that I would do. Because I already know Jordan Poole is actually a 1. He really is. And then Tyler Hero, of course, is a 2. You put them both together, they're doppelgangers, they never miss. But anyway, that's a whole other story. The point is that I would be calling Washington to see if they would be interested in Tyler Hero. And if I'm Washington, I'm saying, yes, I am very interested in Tyler Hero. That's how that goes. So, yeah, these are different things, man. I obviously don't have a whole lot to talk about in regards to the NBA. Just like I tell you guys every day, the summertime is the worst for this league for us in regards to what we're looking at. But, yeah, the Lakers dropped their summer league schedule. Their preseason schedule. We got a game with the Nets, game with Warriors, game with the Kings for sure. Take a glance at the schedule, but it's only 6 games. Not mad about that. And it will be starting, I believe, on September 8th or something like that, 9th. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere in that September range, I believe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah, man, that's where we're at. You know, the Los Angeles Lakers, team I follow. The Miami Heat are a team I do not, but I definitely am curious to know if they're going to be able to land Dame Lillard. And judging by what I'm looking at in regards to the trade packages, it's looking like someone's going to have to settle for something they don't want to settle for in order to get it done, man. And I just don't see why anybody would do that. Not if I'm in either one of those team situations. Now, the Miami Heat probably have a little more urgency to get this done, only because if they don't get it done, their team is incomplete. Portland Trailblazers don't have any expectations to win, regardless. They're probably a better team if they don't do this, even with the logjam at the point guard position and the problems. So it's not about getting better for Portland. It's about moving on from Dame and giving him what he wants. They don't even really want to rebuild, given the fact that they have Jeremy Grant's contract and Nurkic still on deck. So if I'm Portland, I think I'm in the driver's seat. I may be wrong, but the notion that Miami is trying to dictate terms in regards to this situation does seem a little funny to this brain. I don't think they're in the driver's seat. I think their backs against the wall. I really do believe that, even though it doesn't appear that way on the surface. I think their backs against the wall because they missed out on all the free agents necessary to where if this doesn't happen, their team is any decent at all. It's not. That's what I'm arguing. They're going to be, at very best, a middle of the pack play-in tournament team just like last year. And last year they were able to overcome, get a very favorable path, and ultimately play great all the way up to the finals, which was an incredible feat. But throughout the course of the regular season, they were a subpar basketball team, and that's exactly who they're going to be this year. Okay, so the fact that they were able to get to the playoffs and then play their best basketball through the playoffs is amazing. But we will not ignore that mediocre regular season. We ain't going to do it. I'm not letting nobody forget that the Miami Heat didn't even win their first play-in tournament game. So they're going to be worse than that this year if they don't get this damn Triller trade going, in my opinion. And there's always an opportunity for guys like Orlando Robinson, Jovic, and Jaquez to step forward. Obviously, Jimmy and Bam are healthy, so you look at the rotation, you say they're fine. But I'm telling y'all, that team is shallow and incomplete. And I don't like them this year. I don't like them at all. So I think their back's against the wall in the situation. And I think it would be in their best interest to try to hurry up and get some stuff together for this trade. And you know, I think when saying they need to just kind of bite the bullet and throw in both of those kids, when saying that, I also understand that you couldn't convince me of that if I were on the Miami Heat side. So it's a tough situation, and it just becomes a logjam or standstill or whatever you call standoff, whatever the word is. That's what it is. So I don't know, Dame. I don't know. I think you've done your part though. If I'm talking to Dame Lillard, all we needed him to do was tell everybody he's cool with going wherever. He's done that. That's it. I still think the mission is to probably try to get him where he wants to go because it makes everybody look good if they can do that in Portland. But that trade return probably just makes it not worth it to even do that, man. Makes it not worth it. Like, yeah, Dame, we want to be cool with you. Yeah, Dame, we want you to be happy. Yeah, Dame, we want to look like people who are willing to send you where you want to go. But at the end of the day, I do not want Tyler Hero and 3 second-round picks or first-round picks that might not even turn into nothing but 30th pick in the draft this year, 24th pick in the draft next year, 18th pick in the draft the year after that. That is garbage. That's absolute garbage for arguably the greatest Portland Trailblazer. So I can't do it. I can't do it. No, I'm not going to do it. And I think that's exactly where Portland's at. So, yeah. I don't know Pat Riley. I think the best thing for Pat Riley to do is look for other trades, different players that'll help complete his team. And then come back to the table with that and say, look, Portland, if you don't do this, we're gonna pull the trigger on something else. That's what I do if I'm Miami. Because I need to do something, I believe. BDF 44 believes Miami needs to do something. Now, maybe they feel differently. And if they feel differently, God bless them. We'll see how they start the season. But if I feel something needs to be done and my season needs to start based on a trade being done right, I'm going to assess what we talked about yesterday, too. If I start the season without doing anything, and if I'm the Miami Heat, do I start the season with players knowing they're going to be traded and it could derail the course of how things go throughout the season? That's what I have to weigh that against as well. It's like, all right, maybe I want to wait to see if I can get a better return later. Maybe if start the season, we get some things going to where we pay less for Dame. As long as players aren't unhappy, as long as players can live with the fact that they know they're going to be traded. You know what I mean? And that's your gambling. So we said it yesterday, and that's definitely something that's worth saying in regards to the conversation right now. So I think it's important that both of these teams do this before training camp, and I think it's important that the Miami Heat bring Portland some fire, no pun intended, but put some fire up to their backside. That's the only way you're going to get them to take a deal they don't want to do, is if you come back and say, you got 5 minutes before I pull the trigger with the Philadelphia 76ers for James Harden. And we're going to send all that stuff that you want there. You know what I'm saying? And Dame, thank you. But we ain't going to sit here and start the season trash, you know what I mean? And then from there, not be able to get off the ground, having players be disgruntled, having Jimmy waste the season, Bam waste the season, just because Dame wanted to come here and we couldn't get him here. Hell no. Nah. We got other stuff we can do with Tyler Hero and these picks. So maybe we're not committed to giving away this package, but for the sake of expediting the process of making this trade happen, I got some other things we could be doing over here. That's what I'm saying if I'm Pat Riley. So get off the pot, Portland. That's going to be my stance if I'm on the Heat side of things. And if I'm on Portland side of things, I say, okay, well, we got 29 other teams to talk to. So, and it's going to make it a lot easier if you shut the door, Pat Riley, rather than we shut the door. So that would be how it goes, and it's going to be a standstill. As far as I can tell, that's exactly how both sides should feel about this, and ain't nothing should happen. So that's what I got to say, man. That's what I got to say, because I'm not going, just as I applied that pressure, I'm going to tell you if I'm Portland what I would do with that pressure. Send them wherever you want. Send that package where you want. That package is not desirable to me. So if you're going to send it somewhere else, guess what I'm going to do? Be fine with it. You know what I'm saying? And we still got Dame Lillard to send somewhere else. So that's if my brain is a logical thinking brain, that's what makes sense to me. All of that comes together to make all the sense in the world, and you ain't going to see nothing happen no time soon. Because I think if people pull the trigger on the wrong trade, they get fired. That's it. Owners ain't going to sit up here and say anything other than the fact that you didn't get me what I wanted, the price I want. That's all they're gonna say in that situation. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put my career on the line that way just to make a basketball player happy, or I wouldn't. Let's be honest. And so here lies the issue, man. I don't think it's much more to add to it from my end, man. I think that all in all, you just probably likely gonna see either them start the season with intentions of making a trade and risking the unhappiness of these players, or you're probably going to see them either obviously settle for something they have no business settling for, or maybe both sides can just settle for a deal that kind of makes them both feel bad, and I guess that can make it even. That might be the way to handle this. Both teams just walk away with less than what they want, which is how negotiations usually go anyway when it's like this, but I don't know. I just have a different basketball philosophy. So it's very illogical for me to even dream about such things. Like if I'm Miami, I'm not dreaming about that. Bringing Dame Lillard to my team to make us old, I don't care for that. If y'all watch me, that's not going to be a surprise. I'm going to more so want to get young players and try to develop them and then kind of have more of a foundation, as you guys already know. We talk about this all the time, but at the end of the day, I just think that the dream to bring superstars together is just, it's only done right when you have that foundation. So that's it, man. That's where my head is. The Phoenix Suns signed Bismack Biyombo, not Biyombo, Azubuike from the Utah Jazz. He's replacing Biyombo. So I think that's a pretty good pickup, man. It's a younger version of Biyombo. You expect for him to turn into Biyombo. That's exactly what you hope he'll turn into. So they just started the process with that center, and I think it's going to be a good one. And yeah, man, there are players, and this is another thing I got to say about the Miami Heat. And I encourage everybody to go check out my video where I said there were young players that I'm excited about. There's a lot of videos that I made where I mentioned different players, things like that could be having a good year this year. I think it's time to start looking for players in logjam situations if you're the Miami Heat. Dame Lillard is great, but what you need is role players. That's what you need. You got Bam, you got Jimmy, you got Tyler, you got Hawkes, you got Jovic. I don't need Dame. I need to bring them what they need so we can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. You see what I'm saying? So the dream is whack. It's a whack dream. I hate to say this. And maybe it's not their dream. It's Dame's dream. You know what I mean? But I'm telling y'all, man, if I'm the Miami Heat, I don't care for that. Low key, I don't care for that, man. So I want young players. I want to be the next team that has Alperen Sengun on it. I want to be the team that gets all the stuff that Houston got. I want to be the team that got all the stuff that Pistons got. I want to be the team that has all the stuff Orlando and OKC has. Miami is the opposite. The opposite of what I want, truthfully. And so for me, when I talk about this stuff, I kind of have a little bit of a irritation to it just because of my basketball philosophy and how I think these teams should actually be built. Man, that is what you're sensing here. What are we doing, Miami? I know I got like a Heat jersey, shirt on as a Laker fan, and I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't. Dame, if, you don't turn away a guy like Dame if you're the Miami Heat. You're the same team that paid Hassan Whiteside $1 trillion and Chris Bosh $1 trillion after LeBron James left, which is still stupid as hell to me. You don't do that. You went and got Kyle Lowry's contract, paid him all that money at 1 trillion years old. All the things Miami does is so backwards to me. It's so backwards, and then it leads to them having success. So I don't know what to do with that other than to say I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Keep following Pat. He got it right. But at the end of the day, I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with how they build the team for the most part. I ain't agree with them passing on Cam Whitmore. I don't agree with a lot of stuff Miami does. I ain't agree with them letting Gabe Vincent go to the Lakers, even though I'm a Laker fan. I'm happy with it. I would have never let that happen. So it's just me, man. It's just me. So that's why I'm saying to Dame, if he follows me, are you sure you want to go to Miami? Are you sure? Are you sure that's where you want to go, bro? Because I can tell you right now, I would go to Utah. And I know it ain't as nice a place to play, but I'm going to win. I'm gonna freaking win in Utah because they're gonna be able to send all that stuff they got Rudy Gobert for to Portland for me, and we still got a whole damn team because that's just extra assets that they didn't even need. That trade should have never even happened. You see what I'm saying? So they can give that to Portland, take you back, and still have a full plethora of assets because that's exactly what they got. Why players that have cachet and are big old contracts don't think like this is beyond me. Especially when I got a bunch of money that I can make Utah feel like Miami. I'm going to Utah and I'm going to win a championship. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.